Gentleman yields. I now recognize Representative Guest for his 5 minutes question.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Cuccinelli, you mentioned in both your opening statement and your written testimony the applicable law that must be applied by DHS, by the Secretary, when parole is considered. The IRA, passed with overwhelming bipartisan support, 1996, signed into law by then President Bill Clinton, a Democrat. Again, easily passed the House, easily passed the Senate. And as I look at that law, it seems to me to set forth both the process and the standard. The process being that it must be applied on a case-by-case basis. Is there any part of the IRA that allows the law to be applied in a situation of mass parole? Can the Secretary just decide, I'm not going to follow the case by case, I'm just going to set forth these categories of people, and if you fall into this broad category of individuals, then I'm automatically going to assume that the process portion of that has been met?
No is the answer.
And it's clearly no, correct? It's not even close. There's no ambiguity as to what the statute says.
This is the only statute that contains any aspect of the parole authority. There aren't multiple statutes to look at, as we sometimes see in the immigration space. This is it.
And so the first part it says forth is the process, and then the standard says it must be on the basis of urgent humanitarian reasons or significant public benefit. Are there any more standards that the Secretary can choose to apply?
No.
So you mentioned there, and some of the questioning by Chairman Bruckheimer, you mentioned somewhat in your written statement too, that historically, prior to Joe Biden and Kamala Harris and Secretary Mayorkas coming into office and abusing this parole system, that historically, on an annual basis, the number of individuals who were granted parole were in the low thousands. Is that what I heard from you, Mr. Cuccinelli?
You did. There have been exceptions, but they tend to reach back before 1996.
You even mentioned a range in your written statement of 3,000 to 5,000. Can you expand on where that came from?
That's my suggestion as to how to bring this system under control. If you are going to have administrations that sometimes will simply not abide by the plain language of the statute Congress passed, then you need to put in harder, more objective limitations in place. If the alternative is complete unfettered discretion, which is how the Biden administration operated, or zero, there are reasons both of those are bad. So thus my suggestion in the 3,000 to 5,000 range of putting a hard cap on an annual basis on the Secretary of Homeland Security and how many people they can let in using this parole authority.
And so when you say 3,000 to 5,000, that's annually, correct? That's
Yes.
3,000 to 5,000 a year. I did some rough math. I took into account, said that there were 3 million people that came in and were paroled during that 4-year period. Divided by the number of days over 4 years, and at 3 million, that's over 2,000 individuals a day.
A day.
Each and every day, Monday through Friday, Saturday and Sunday, Christmas, New Year's, July 4th, that were paroled in the country. And then given the administration just the benefit of the doubt at 2.5 million. I did that math. That's 1,700 individuals a day, each and every day for 4 years. And so what you're telling me is that we should be shooting for a range of somewhere between 3 and 5. And let's just double that number just for argument's sake. Maybe we say 10. Maybe we say 20,000 is a good number. But we, in a given week, we're doing over 14,000 individuals in a given week. And so, Mr. Cuccinelli, just let me ask you, as my time draws near, based on what you know about the law, the standards and the process that must be met, Did Secretary Mayorkas, did the Department of Homeland Security, under the prior administration, did they abide by the law or did they abuse the law that was given to them by Congress?
They rather obviously abused the law.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I yield back.